Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Griha. Now, you might remember Bengaluru's IT corridor gridlock on the 27th of September. This is a recurring affair in India's IT city, and bearing the brunt of these harrowing experiences while it comes to traffic every time is the common man or the common Bengalurian. And as if living with that grouse wasn't enough, now comes an announcement by the Karnataka Government that allegedly bans carpooling using mobile application platforms in Bengaluru following complaints from taxi drivers. The Transport Department of Karnataka termed using whiteboard vehicles for commercial commute purposes as illegal and said that offenders may have their registration certificates suspended for up to 6 months and could be fined anywhere from 5,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees. The Transport Department maintains that carpooling apps are in violation of regulations by aggregating private cars which are not authorized for commercial use. Advocates of carpooling, though, argue that it is a highly effective solution for alleviating traffic congestion and reducing fuel consumption. With the number of vehicles on city roads exceeding 1.1 crores, the need for innovative solutions to reduce congestion is more pressing than ever before. So we wonder if this decision by the government in the state has come in a haste in order to avoid being pressured by Taxi Drivers Association, or they gave some serious thought to it. Let's first look at the clarification coming in the face of this aggressive response by Bengalurians, especially on social media. Let's take a look at what the Karnataka government has said as part of its clarification. Number one, it goes on to claim that there is no ban on carpooling, but there is a ban on carpooling apps. That means you can carpool if it is not meant for commercial purposes. Carpooling apps need to obtain proper permissions. They cannot go ahead and indulge in commercial activities if they are not authorized to do so. Then the other argument by the Karnataka government is that the use of whiteboard vehicles for carpooling is illegal. Need to be yellow number plates. Fine is only if anyone is found carpooling illegally. So that is the kind of clarification that has come in. So we are asking this evening on Plain Speak, in the midst of the Bengaluru traffic jam, the carpool announcement in Bengaluru, whether the Karnataka government has jumped the gun on the decision. We are also opening our call-in line so that you can call us, especially if you are from Bengaluru, and share your opinions about what do you think about the latest decision of the Karnataka government over the carpool ban. Let me now take this across before in fact we go to the guests, let's take a look at precisely what are the kind of voices that have come in as this announcement was made by the Karnataka government, and then we'll open this up to my guests.
Everybody should follow the rules and regulations. Carpooling, they are running in whiteboard.
Carpooling is the way forward. This is what is being advocated. This is what is being promoted. This is what needs to be encouraged. As a government, it reflects badly on the government as the government applied mind.
And joining me on the second debate on Plain Speak this evening is GS Prasanta of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Bhavya Narasimha Murthy of the Congress Party, and also with us is a prominent Bengalurian, Brinda Adige, also an activist. Brinda, I'll begin with you. Considering this concerns you and everybody who's living out of Bengaluru directly, what do you make of this decision? Do you think it has been done in a haste, or do you think the government in Karnataka has given every thought to it that's required?
This is a decision clearly done in haste. And like you pointed out in the beginning, it has been done because of the taxi and other yellow board drivers and their associations making a big noise about it. What is important that the Karnataka government has not realized is to reduce traffic on the streets. And if there are 4 friends getting together or 4 acquaintances or 4 people living in the same building or the vicinity and sharing the money for the petrol and for if they are going outside, then the fast tag, how can you call that as commercial activity? On what lines do they call it as commercial activity if we are sharing? So it is time for the government to bring in share autos, or bring in something like this. They haven't thought about it. The public has thought about it. So why are they discouraging and punishing the
Okay. All right, some problem with Brinda's link, but I'm told that we have our first caller on the broadcast. So before I go to my other guest, Rajendra from Bengaluru is joining us on the broadcast. Rajendra, please go ahead and make your point. What do you think of this latest decision by the Karnataka government of banning white number plate carpooling?
No. Now the question is, how many percentage of carpooling is done? It is a minuscule. So yeah. Now banning is not a solution, for the traffic jam.
Okay.
See, in Mumbai, in Pune, there are some places, where they have started, share autos, share taxis, They made it officially. You can see Pune, Bombay, there is a share taxi you can go. And we should they should motivate the people to go use the alternative methods like metro and use the buses, that is BMTC buses. That means, the government should provide good infrastructure, good road, so that, people are motivated towards that public transport. Carpooling is a very minuscule. It is not going to solve the problem of this one, traffic jam.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Rajendra, for joining us. Bhavya, one of the callers says that this is not something that is going to be impacting the solution that we are looking at as far as the traffic jam condition in Bengaluru is concerned. This can, in fact, go ahead, as has been planned by the Karnataka government. But the other people who we have seen respond to this latest decision by the government in Karnataka through the course of the day, there have been very aggressive and opposing voices.
So, first thing first, we have not banned carpooling. One. If you remember, there were Uber Pool, those cars who are registered for commercial purpose, having yellow boards,
Yes.
and even if they're using some app, they are not banned from carpooling. White boards, even if they're carpooling, say for example, some colleagues by themselves, speak together and carpool, that is not banned. Using these apps where whiteboard is used to carpooling is what is banned. Because if you remember the same opposition, the ex-minister came and just spoke that we are against this thing and all. The same people spoke against our Shakti program. Our Shakti guarantee, which encouraged public transport, use of public transport, and was also applicable to the families of these taxi drivers and all. That day, the same opposition was worried about the families of these taxi drivers and their, and their lives and their earnings. But today, when we want to protect, according to law, and say that carpooling by the taxi services is allowed. What is not allowed is those people who have not bought the car for a commercial purpose but for the personal purpose and use it for commercial purpose.
Okay. Prashant, your response, considering the Bharatiya Janata Party was quick to jump the gun, there was an appeal that was made by Tejasvi Surya asking the government to actually roll back the decision. These intricate points that are necessarily needed to be looked upon, considering we are talking about whiteboard vehicles only, and like Bhavya rightly said, they have not been meant for commercial purposes. So why employ these vehicles as far as these carpooling apps are concerned and then charge for it? And that is what the government is trying to counter. So what is the problem?
Griha, the issue is not about regulations. If something needs to be done by regulations, by amending laws, they can very well do it. If it is in the interest of the people, they are not willing to do it. They are not willing to change laws which will positively impact the people.
Like
Look at what Congress is trying to do now.
Like what
Congress
kind of
is trying to say this carpooling, which is being done by, say, for example, if I, you, Bhavya and Brinda are traveling from Malleshwaram to Electronic City daily, we do not know each other otherwise. We are using it through an app which connects all the four of us, and we take the commute in either my private vehicle or Bhavya's private vehicle. Probably the app may be charging some charges. You regulate them, bring them on record, tell the app you have to register, pay a particular fees or license fee to the government. But why do you want to stop a pro people move? If People are coming together using their personal car. Nobody is making profit of it. Again, I reiterate the example. The four of us are going. We are sharing the fuel cost of one of our bears, which means it is reduced cost for everybody. It is reduced pollution, lower number of vehicles on the road. But Congress is not any of these things. They just want to ban the carpooling apps. Regulate them. Bring them under the law.
Okay.
Tell them you register.
Okay.
Provide
Fair point.
details of the users.
Fair point. We
They're not
also
willing to
have
do any
one
of
more
this.
caller. I'm really sorry, Prashant. We have one more caller. Srinivas from Bengaluru is also now joining us. Srinivas, your views on this carpool ban for whiteboard vehicles in Bengaluru?
See, my point is very simple. If the Karnataka government wants to ban, right, this carpooling, right, I want to ask the same government, what are they doing for the app-based, operators, right? Whether it is Ola, Uber, they keep cancelling, right? Just because they don't like to commute, the drivers, they don't want to go. This is purely lobby. What's wrong in somebody using carpooling? Okay, you want to regularize it, come out with a plan. Don't simply ban it because you want to ban it because the app-based drivers or the taxi drivers are lobbying to the government and giving, some input. Now, what is the percentage of carpooling cars? How are they helping?
All right. Thank you so much for making
helping?
that point, Srinivas. I'm really sorry. I'd have to cut across to Mr. Anurag Thakur, who's currently speaking. Let's take a look at that.
दिखाता है कि केंद्र सरकार से कोई कमी पश्चिम बंगाल के विकास के लिए नहीं रखी गई। लेकिन ऐसा क्या हुआ कि ममता बनर्जी जी को अपने कुछ भ्रष्ट सांसद और कुछ ऐसे नेताओं को भेजना पड़ा जो भ्रष्टाचार जमीन पर चल रहा है, उसके ऊपर पश्चिम बंगाल में कार्रवाई नहीं हुई, लेकिन उस पर लीपापोती करने के लिए अपने कुछ नेताओं को यहां पर भेजा है। मैं थोड़ा सा विस्तार में इसके आपके बताना चाहूंगा। एक सेंट्रल टीम के द्वारा एक इंक्वायरी की गई 22 जनवरी 2019 से लेकर 24 जनवरी 2019 तक 2-3 दिन के लिए, और 6 ग्राम पंचायतों में 4 ब्लॉक जिसके आते हैं, ये वर्धमान पूर्व में हुई, और 7 ग्राम पंचायत और 3 ब्लॉक में हुगली डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हुई। यहां से 4 करोड़ 84 लाख की रिकवरी हुई। फिर एक और टीम का गठन किया गया, ये सेंट्रल टीम थी। फिर ये 13 सितंबर 2021 को गई और 17 सितंबर 2021 तक इसने इंक्वायरी की, और इसी तरह की इसकी ऑब्जर्वेशन एक बार फिर आई। अब इसमें क्या ऑब्जर्वेशन आई? बड़े काम को छोटे छोटे में बांट के इस तरह से खेल खेला गया कि नीचे तक जानकारी ना पहुंच पाए। फिर क्या था, जो एग्जिस्टिंग काम थे, जो काम हुए थे पहले, तालाब पहले था, सड़क पहले थी, उसी कोई नया काम दिखाकर महात्मा गांधी जी के नाम से जो योजना है उसमें भी घोटाला कर लिया ममता जी के यहां पे। आज गांधी जयंती पर बता रहा हूं, और गांधी जी की समाधि पर भतीजे को भेजा था, और देखिए कैसे समय जिस योजना पर इतना पैसा खाया गया, सड़क तालाब ये दिखाए गए जो कभी बने नहीं, जो पहले से ही थे, उसके नाम पर पैसे खा गए। मालदा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में छोटी नदियों से गाद निकालने के नाम पे पैसे खा गए, और जहां कंटीली तार लगानी या बाड़ लगाने की अनुमति नहीं होती वो भी काम इसमें करके अपने काम चलती है। फिर एक चाय बागान के लिए, ऐसे चाय बागानों के लिए रास्ते बनाने का काम, जहां के लिए प्राइवेट किसी कंपनी को आप ये लाभ नहीं दे सकते, आपने वहां पे लाभ दिया और अपनी जेब में पैसा डाला। फिर नदी के तटबंध करने के लिए, तटीयकरण के लिए काम तो दिखाया गया, रेत की थैलियां वहां पर पाई गई। ऐसे अनेकों काम जिनकी अनुमति नहीं थी वो इसमें दिखाए गए, और कैसे पैसों का हेरफेर हुआ, किसके खाते में गए, इसके ऊपर एक एक्शन टेकन रिपोर्ट केंद्र सरकार ने राज्य को कहा कि आप उचित कार्रवाई करें और केंद्र को जानकारी दें। और जो इंक्वायरी रिपोर्ट हमने दी थी 6 मार्च 2019 को, और राज्य सरकार ने 3 महीने के बाद 19 जून को उसके ऊपर अपनी एक रिपोर्ट दी। उसमें कुछ नहीं कहा, केवल ये कह दिया कि इसके ऊपर ये कदम उठाने चाहिए, कदम उठाए नहीं, उठाने की बात कही। हमने फिर कहा कि गैर इजाजत के जो काम हुए उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई कीजिए।
Right, that was Union Minister Anurag Thakur responding to all the charges by the TMC over allegations of not dispensing funds in the Manrega scheme, over which they are protesting in the national capital today and tomorrow. We're going back to my guest on the broadcast. Bhavya Narasimha Murthy, the point that Prashant JS was making earlier, why not incorporate that? Why keep it as a selective sort of a treatment in the name of what's legal, what's illegal? How does the Congress party choose to respond to that?
Mr. Prashant was pointing out, like, among these four panelists, what if we don't know each other? How are you going to ensure our safety? I don't think the apps will take the responsibility of anyone just, picking up people, and at least the Uber or whatever, they have their licenses.
No, but when it was allowed, was the safety point not in consideration then? And I'll go back to the question that I began asking you. Has this decision come in a haste because of which the Karnataka government had to come out with a clarification now?
No, because he said if the problem was with regulation, that we are reasons as regulation.
Who's stopping you?
Let her make a point. Prashant, please. Yes.
According to law, nobody can use a whiteboard vehicle for earning purpose or commercial purpose.
Okay.
And that's the basic rule we are applying. And we are not stopping them from carpooling with each other. It's these apps which are making money using these whiteboard is what we are banning.
Okay.
One, to protect it, and the very word used by people saying taxi drivers are lobbying. The whole definition of lobbying is different. Here, to protect the interest of the weaker section is not called lobbying. The same opposition was worried about the same section of society, the taxi drivers and the auto drivers, when we wanted to show cause and affirmative action like Shakti Yojana. But then it's giving free.
Let's not deviate, but let's not get to Shakti Yojana now.
Okay, Prashant, we have to accommodate all the points that even the Congress party is making. That is also a fair point. I'd like to understand from you. You have given some fair bit of argument on what could have been done. But why politicize this issue? Considering the government has now come up with a clarification that this is not going ahead and banning private carpools, and in the face of legality, you cannot allow the whiteboard vehicles to ply and do that for commercial purposes. That's just not allowed. So that is what they are doing away with. What is the problem with that?
Griha, anything which is illegal, we are not supporting it. All that we're saying is anything which is pro people, any concerns, like Bhavya was saying, safety, regulate it, bring them on record, tell the apps to register, let them be licensed, let the government have database of the apps, let you have a dashboard of what's happening and who's the driver and all. See, you can have technology do wonders here.
Bhavya, do you think that the government will be accommodative of those points? Quick point, I have only 30 seconds on the show. Do you think these can be accommodated? And what would you do about the kind of furor that you're receiving, the backlash online? How do you deal with that?
The whole purpose of carpooling is to reduce the number of cars. But when there is a way of using taxis as pools, as carpools, why use these white taxis? What's the whole purpose of these apps?
Okay.
Right? There's no purpose of these apps connecting whiteboard and make money out of it. I don't think we should encourage this.
Griha, I repeat, it is not whiteboard vehicles, it is individuals coming together.
No, that clarification has come in, Prashant, and you have to give that to the Congress party. Unfortunately, I'm very short on time on the broadcast. I'd have to leave it at that. So I'd like to thank Bhavya, Prashant and Brinda Adige for joining me on the broadcast.